Welcome everybody to another Wednesday wrap-up, your weekly entertainment wrap-up brought to you by Borderline Entertainment right here on twitch.tv/Borderline Entertainment. However, if you find that you're watching this a few days later on YouTube, that means that you're catching it when it's not live, aka you're missing the whole point of the show. Now, I will say thank you so much for watching. We appreciate every single view that we get, and you know what, we might encourage you to please hit that subscribe button and then hit the bell so you can get notifications because we do upload weekly. But back to what I was saying, the actual show, it's live on Twitch, and that means you get to be a part of the conversation. Because here on Wednesday Wrap Up, what we do is we take news topics Wednesday to Wednesday, we boil them down, we pick 4 standout topics, we rank them, and then we give them to you in a more digestible piece. So if you want all of the news, you're not in the right place. We're just going to give you some highlights. We're going to chat about it. And if you're watching it live, that means that you really get to be a part of the chat. But then otherwise, again, thank you for watching and we appreciate it. Now, tonight's show is brought to you by our patrons. And don't forget, you can be one too. Head over to patreon.com, search Borderline Entertainment, and think about giving just $1 out of your pocket. Now, that's not a lot, all right? $1, that equates 4 quarters. It's something that I like to point out quite often because I'm pretty sure most people will lose $1 a month. Now, I don't mean lose it like they're going gambling, but sometimes $1 falls out or we get a bunch of change from whatever and we put it in our cup holder and we forget about that. Imagine if you took all that change from your cup holder and you did something with it. So instead of using that Acorns app, which invests it into things that is probably voodoo magic, how about you take that change in your cup holder in your car? You know, you can leave the dried crumbs and the residue from your ketchup packets and donate that to Borderline Entertainment. Help us help you. Help us create the content that you want to watch. So again, please consider being a patron today. For those that are new to the show, again, you get to be a part of the conversation. But if you are not new and you're a regular, then you know what we do. We always start things off with our Apple of the Week, the best news story and entertainment news, and that goes to PlayStation. They had a successful event. One thing that Nintendo does right is they have these things called Nintendo Directs. They are short, sweet, cool little ways that they get across information that their communities they need to know. PlayStation decided that they were going to do the same thing. Now the name is kind of dumb. It's called State of Play, which is kind of a swing and a miss. I don't have any backup ideas. I just don't think State of Play is a very good name. However, the concept was fantastic. They were just like the Nintendo Directs. They were boom, boom, boom. They were just shooting out these announcements game after game. Some games got a little bit longer time as they, talked about them and gave a little bit more backstory. But for the most part, it was fairly well paced. They gave us more information about games that we've heard about before. They gave us release dates that we've been looking for and introduced us to games that we probably wouldn't have had the chance to get to know, which is just really awesome. And one great thing about it, another reason why this is getting the Apple of the Week, is while we are sad to see that Sony is not going to be a part of E3, they did promise us that they're going to have multiple State of Plays throughout the year. So that is super exciting because, again, I loved this first one. Now, there are a few standouts that I do want to talk about, and I'm not going to get into everything, but I will say that after watching Sony's State of Play, I walked away feeling like I have to get PlayStation VR. Now, I know that there's a lot of cost involved, and there's so much that you have to gather to make it work, but holy crap. As gamers, we have been waiting for the killer app. We have been waiting for the games that are the God of Wars of VR. And I feel like we're going to get that with Blood and Truth. That is one game that just had me enthralled. I was on the edge of my seat watching intently the entire time. And I went back and watched it a few more times. You're essentially like James Bond. You're a spy and you're sneaking around, you're doing investigations. The shooting doesn't look too bad either. I'm not quite sure how the movement works, but there's this one scene where he's like running on a girder and then he jumps off. And then there's another scene when he jumps through a window and blocks the glass from cutting him up. And so I think it's going to play okay. I know that the Move controllers, I'm pretty sure they have analog sticks, so it should be fine. But either way, that game looks incredible. I mean, the entire state of play started off with Iron Man VR. No Man's Sky. Man, this game has gone through so much. With a very muddled release, false hopes, big empty promises, and the game just didn't deliver when it first launched. They really have come at it with, such fervence, and their post-launch support has been incredible. And now the game today is what we wanted at the beginning, and that's just phenomenal. One thing that I always thought looking at No Man's Sky was that this game would be perfect for VR. And they announced at State of Play that it is getting a free VR update for PlayStation users, and that is amazing. Again, this whole thing was like, Asa, you need to buy a VR. As far as other games that really stood out to me, and we did see a pretty cool announcement for Crash Team Racing. Looks like PlayStation users are going to get exclusive skins for Crash, Coco, and Cortex. They're going to be retro, so they're going to have that polygonal look. Very old school. So if you Crash CTR fans, Crash Team Racing fans out there like myself, that's a huge callback. I love to see that. Another game that really stood out to me, this was an indie game that, again, I don't think it would have gotten to see this limelight, at E3 or G2C or anything like that. But Ready Set Heroes looks really, really cool. It's a dungeon crawler that, yes, has 4-player co-op, but it seems the big aspect, the big selling point of Ready Set Heroes is going to be isometric dungeon crawling. So you're going to have 2 teams, 2 players on each team, and you're going to be going through random yet identical dungeons. And at the end, after you've leveled up and you've pillaged and looted and you've gotten everything that you've needed, you're going to be able to duke it out and see who gets to, winner takes all kind of situation. So that was another game that just looked incredible. And then the last thing that I do want to talk about is Concrete Genie. That game just looks phenomenal. It's really exciting to see Sony kind of not revert back to an old self, but if you look at PlayStation 3, a lot of the standout titles, a lot of those second or first party titles were really risky. They were very artistic. Just thinking about Tokyo Jungle, for example, that game I don't think would be commercially successful today, but it's cool to see Sony going back to that kind of motif and bringing out Concrete Genie. Of course, again, like I said, they brought announcements to games that are going to be coming out soon, like Days Gone, Mortal Kombat 11. So that stuff, again, was really cool. But congratulations again to Sony and PlayStation. You win the Apple of the Week, the best news story in entertainment news. But as we say here on Wednesday Wrap-Up, not all news is good news. And that brings us to our Onion of the Week, the worst news story in entertainment news, and that goes to, unfortunately, EA.
Challenge everything.
It looks like that they had some trouble in paradise, and I don't mean to make light of the situation. They had some major layoffs. And I want to say it was, 350 employees around there. That was the number that I thought I had seen. But roughly about 8% of its workforce. However, the one thing that I will say about EA that is distinctly different than what Activision Blizzard did with their layoffs is their workers, a lot of them knew. So this came to the marketing departments, the publishing departments, and a few other areas. And again, this article that I'm reading is coming from Engadget, and even then they're quoting Kotaku, so I don't know why I didn't just pull up the Kotaku report, but it seems like there were a lot of people that knew this was coming. So for most of the people that are involved, they kind of get that peace of mind. They kind of had this hanging over their heads for a while, but it looks like a lot of people will be getting severance. They did try to get as many people as they could into other roles, so there wouldn't be as many layoffs as there were. But it is still sad again to see, 350 people lose their jobs. Especially after the success of Apex Legends. And there are a lot of people that are saying that, these layoffs are due to Anthem crashing and burning and all the issues that they had with Battlefront, but I don't think that's it at all. Companies see things like this, and as far as I know, we don't know all the ins and outs as to why this is exactly happening, but it is still sad nonetheless. Those who weren't able to find a position somewhere else, we do hope that you're able to find something soon. And we wish all the best, for you and your family. But again, EA, you get the onion of the week, the worst news story in entertainment news this week. We're going to step away from the doom and gloom and enter into Happy Land, the funniest news story in entertainment news, and that goes to Nickelodeon and the release of the Dora the Explorer live-action movie trailer. Words that I never thought that I would ever say. There's going to be a live-action Dora the Explorer trailer. Now, it's not winning the banana because it's hilariously bad at all. The reason that they're winning the banana is because I'm excited. I am so psyched for this movie. It looks good. I'm just saying. And what's his name? I really don't want to butcher his name. Danny Trujillo? I know him as Machete, and I know his first name's Danny, and I also know him as he was the uncle in Spy Kids. But anyways, he's the voice of Boots. Now, you saw like Boots a little bit in the trailer, but it didn't seem like he was wearing boots, so that kind of sucks. But you never heard his voice. But anyways, the trailer was really good, in my opinion. I was expecting the Dora the Explorer movie to look like super cheesy and visually be unappealing and have terrible quality in their visual effects, but it just, I was dumbfounded. I think Disney could take a lesson from this because, as older cartoon fans will know, Kim Possible also got a movie, except it went straight to TV, and it doesn't look good. I didn't watch it, but it just didn't look good at all. And this is nothing against the actress who's playing Kim in Kim Possible, or that curly-haired kid who's playing Ron Stoppable, but that movie just looks awful. But Nickelodeon got it right with Dora the freaking Explorer. My goodness. So, congratulations again, Nickelodeon and Dora the Explorer. You win the banana of the week. The funniest news story in entertainment news. You got us. You got us good. And that brings us to our muffin of the week, the last award of tonight. And that is our favorite news story in entertainment news. And that goes to Marvel. This movie Endgame looks incredible. Recently, they released these movie posters that had individual heroes. And there were two sets. So there were sets in full color, and then there were sets in black and white. So the sets in full color, clearly, those are the ones that live. So we know Thanos, big baddie, did his snap, half the population dead, kaput. If you haven't seen the movies, sorry that I spoiled it for you. That's just the way it is. So all of the posters with the full color faces, those people are alive. The other set of posters were black and white. So those are the ones that died. And one of the big shockers was that Shuri, we thought that she was alive, or at least we didn't know, but these posters confirmed that she's dead. Man, I am ready. I'm ready for this movie. It's going to be over 3 hours long, and that is exactly what I want. I think that's what all comic book fans want. You know, so many times with these movies, we feel like they just cut things short. Like, I'm just thinking about Lord of the Rings. There was so much cut out. And then finally we got the extended editions. And it's like, okay, where's this been all my life? Still missing Tom Bombadil. But still with these comic book movies, they're so short. Like, we just want full length. I want to be in the theater for 5 hours. Just give me everything that I want. And it looks like we might be getting that with Endgame. So super excited. Congratulations again to Marvel and the upcoming Avengers Endgame with these freaking sweet movie posters. They are, again, just really hitting you right in the heart. Now, before we get into our recap, we do have a few honorable mentions. So a quick shout out to those who didn't quite make the cut. However, they were big enough that we wanted to give them some recognition. So our honorable mentions this week. Those are, again, the honorable mentions. But let's do a quick recap. Our Apple of the Week went to PlayStation in State of Play. Our Onion of the Week went to EA in their recent layoff of 350 employees. Our Banana of the Week went to Nickelodeon and the Dora Explorer movie trailer. And our Muffin of the Week went to Marvel and the Avengers Endgame posters. Thank you everybody so much for watching. We appreciate it again. If you are new, please think about subscribing. If you want to connect with us, like we would love to connect with you, please go to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, search Borderline Entertainment, and give us a like, a comment, a follow, subscribe, all of those different things. Just be a part of the community. We are growing and we love it. We love to connect with everybody online and seeing just the community flourish. So please consider being a part of the Borderline family today. And if you're watching on YouTube, again, please consider giving us a follow and a subscribe and hit that bell and all that stuff. And again, think about watching on Twitch so you can be a part of this conversation. But for Borderline Entertainment, I'm Mesa. Be well, Borderline fan.